We also have an update on literally the craziest situation that we've ever seen. The president of Haiti was assassinated in what looks like some sort of like hit squad raid. It's unclear who exactly was behind it. What is going on here, Krystal? I know you went down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
So Haiti is a fascinating, both inspiring and tragic country that, of course, the U.S. has had deep involvement in up through the 2000s under George W. Bush, which is perhaps a story for another day, but is relevant here. The country's been in crisis for a while. It's been in political crisis essentially ever since it appears, helped to depose Aristide back in 2004. The current president, a guy named Jovenel Moise, who was just assassinated. We don't know who did it, and I wouldn't trust a lot of the information coming out from like the police chief and others on the scene because essentially everyone is corrupted there. There's massive gang problem in the country. There's indications that Moise himself was complicit in some of the activities in the gang or supported by these gangs. He also had overstayed his term in office and was unilaterally rewriting the Constitution, implicated in all kinds of corruption and scandals and violent scandals as well. So let's not say that this was a good guy or a good president whatsoever. However, it has plunged Haiti into even further crisis, so no one is celebrating the death of this man. Let's go ahead and throw the tear sheet up on the screen that we have here with some of the details. So as of this morning, the Haitian police chief is saying that some of the mercenaries who were involved in this assassination have been killed, that others are in custody. We don't really have any indication of who they are or why they did this. Some of this, shockingly, was caught on video, and it's really bizarre. It looks like pretending to be a drug enforcement agency operation. The theory is that they say this, and we'll play the video in just a second, in order to get like the bodyguards to stand down, because DEA activity in Haiti is apparently fairly common. So they're used to hearing people with American accents saying, "This is the DEA, stand down." So you hear that on this video. Other reports, again, coming from government officials, say that some of the perpetrators, some of the murderers here were speaking Spanish. So make of that whatever you will. The First Lady has also been critically wounded. She's been flown to Florida for treatment. She is alive and stable, but they say in critical condition. Let's take a listen to that video where you can hear American accent and English declaring this a DEA operation. Of course, the DEA denies this and seems very unlikely that it was a DEA operation. Let's take a listen.
No.
Yeah.
So pretty
wild.
Yeah, and there's other videos out there where you hear, repeated gunfire. A lot of this, at least the sounds of it, caught on video. So again, this is an incredibly impoverished country that has been screwed over time and time again since its founding, since its independence. I think the only successful slave revolt in history. They gained their independence from France. They actually defeated Napoleon in order to gain their independence. But they were then consistently discriminated against. The U.S. took 60 years to represent them. First black republic in the world. France, after their independence, levies these millions of dollars. They say, like, you owe us because you stole our colonial shit, and threaten them with war. So put them in debt from the beginning. And there's been just, cycles of U.S. intervention, again, deposing popular leaders like Aristide. You've had horrible dictators like Papa Doc and Baby Doc who ruled by violence. You've had U.S. embargoes that have kept the people poor and impoverished. And then on top of everything, you've had natural disasters, hurricane, earthquake that they still haven't been able to recover from. So it was already kind of a lawless and violent situation. And now again, with the assassination of Jovenel Moise, you just have further instability, total power vacuum. The guy who says he's in charge now, Joseph is his last name, is the nation's 6th prime minister in the last 4 years. He says he's now in charge, But he actually Moise had already replaced him. There was a new dude who was supposed to be sworn in next week. So that just gives you another indication of how completely uncertain things are on this island where the people have suffered so incredibly much.
This is really, and again, according to him, these were mercenaries. So they were saying that the gunmen, with American accents or more, they think that a lot of these people were hired killers, which actually would be even crazier.
Yeah, so who hired them?
Right, who hired
why?
them? Who are they? There's actually a lot of interesting law around mercenaries and hired guns and all this, of what exactly happens in the third world. And I think there is something that is very much going on here right now. But when I heard that audio, I was like, this is totally nuts. Some of the speculation is actually could be drug related, for cartels and stuff in terms of South Florida. So look, there's no indication necessarily. It looks like, there's plenty of domestic reasons for people to be involved here, but very messy and sad situation.
Yeah, it looks from all indications that he was in bed with a lot of, horrific murderous thugs.
Yeah.
And, the allegations are that he was dependent on these gangs which control a lot of Haiti and especially a lot of Port-au-Prince. And so who knows who this could have been, what sort of vendetta they might have had, and who hired these killers and ultimately plunged this country into even further chaos. And it's also sad that, the U.S. only, this chaos and lawlessness 600 miles or so from Miami has been going on, and, no one here has really paid that much attention. So I think that's another sad story here, is how we've just allowed this to fester. At best, and at worst, we've been involved in helping to plunge the country into chaos. So we'll keep an eye on this story, because I think that it's far from over as we get more details and also find out not only who may have been involved, but also who's going to take over and what this means for the political situation. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.